Christine.
Hello. I always forget I have to turn down the volume of the music. Okay, does it work now? Then I have to turn off the whole thing. Alright, okay. Good. Yeah, I forgot that the you guys just hear the volume, so I have the music on full volume, which doesn't work for you guys. Yeah, so just let me know if you have any questions. So far life is going good. I've been doing lots of Modo hotkeys. So I'm just gonna block some shit out. Lots of cylinders. I'm making some kind of sci-fi speeder thing. Sci-fi ship. I have not quite decided yet what it will be. Depends on what I feel about the design, I think. Well, I have to get back into the groove, and I don't have any big cool projects that I can, you know, work on. Well, actually I think I've made way more than 3 sci-fi speeders, but I've made more than 3 of most things. So I made way more than 3 mechs and way more than 3 guns and 3 sci-fi space corridors. Well, probably. When I do these things, I usually just do them as design practice, design experiments, not necessarily finishing them. Okay, what the hell?
Well,
I do feel a bit guilty about making more sci-fi speeders. Because I really should be doing something else that takes me out of my comfort zone, but I am very comfortable here with the sci-fi speeders. So. I'm not gonna tell you that. It's gonna be super cool, obviously. But I don't work there anymore. Yep. Well, I haven't really started doing it full speed yet, but it's going pretty good. It's exciting times. Okay, boxes. Cubes. cylinders. Okay. Zoom. So I'm spending a lot of time trying to evolve my workflow a bit. Make it faster and more efficient. So I have a shitload of new hotkeys and things, so I'm probably gonna do a lot of mistakes in the near future and today. I'm just making shit up. I'm not so much learning new shader stuff as just putting the stuff that I already know into practice, because that was my problem, that I have, there's a lot of things that I know, like theoretically, that I don't do in practice, so I'm trying to just implement all the things that I should be doing, but I'm not doing. Just implementing that into my workflow more, so. Starting to get a feel for this one now. What's the lowest you can get? Well, mechanical function is really not, I mean, if you're making something like this, which is basically, you know, mumbo jumbo, and as long as it doesn't have any, as long as I don't have anything that it needs to do, like, you know, animation wise, I don't really have any function to go by, so then I just go by form first, and then, you know, since the function is undefined, just go with form first. But I tried to mimic real world functionality and machinery as much as possible, just to get a sense of, even if people don't know what the machinery is doing, it looks like it's doing something. So there's that. Well, most people like to say form follows function, but most of the time people have absolutely no idea how things function or why things are there in the first place, or if it's, when it comes to sci-fi, it's like you can't talk about function because you don't even know the technology that drives it. I mean, that would be, you know, insane. Well, now we're getting somewhere at least. No references. Sound in my head. Or not even in my head in this case, I'm just making it up as I go. So I just go with the flow. That's not pretty. What Gumroad question? I missed that one. Yes, I am making new Gumroad tutorials. I wouldn't say I've started working on the next one, because that would be an exaggeration, but I have thought about it, what I'm gonna do with it, so that counts. It's gonna be about the different methods of sub-D modeling in Modo. So like a smaller tutorial than the 10-hour long ones I've done the last few times. I mean, anyone can model something this quick. I mean, it's just how good it's gonna look, that's gonna be the difference. And to be fair, like, there's, like, I do run into a lot of design problems when I live stream, and sometimes the result is not very good, basically because I haven't thought the designs through and I'm just rushing through everything. So this, like, more often than not, the designs that I do when I live stream are not something that I'm particularly proud of or happy with, because there's just like so many, you know, messed up angles and just things that just hack together. But it's pretty good practice because it forces you to practice. I use a mix kind of all the workflows that I've been using over the years kind of right now, because I have to keep my sub D skills intact, and but I also use the rounded shader technique, but that one has its limitations and they have not been fixed yet, and even if technical problems will be fixed, you would still have some issues with that technique. So I'm keeping my traditional sub D skills alive as much as I can, as well as, you know, trying to evolve them a bit. Cables are love. Cables are life. Well, I'm not so good at UV4. Maybe you don't want my instructions for that. And now I'm gonna cheat a bit. It doesn't actually look like that. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it shouldn't look like that. Oh, something is broken. Okay, that's more like it. So it's still broken. Alright. Okay. Right, it's time to make some little kit bash pieces then. This is one of the things that I really need to improve, and I just need to get my new kit bash library up and running. I didn't have time, so it's getting there. Well, I think it's pretty good. For me, user mapping doesn't really take all that much time, so I mean, it could be faster, but there's nothing in the tools itself that I don't like. something slightly more complex than just cylinders. Or wait, was that serious? I can't tell. I don't know how far I will get on this today. I'm gonna try to get it into some kind of, you know, presentable state, but that may or may not happen. Well, you do hear about it in the gaming industry. Depends on where in the gaming industry you are, I guess. I've used it every company I have worked for. Well, I can't keep this speed up all the time. So I'm of course I'm more productive when I'm live streaming. Otherwise, I would build like an entire game myself. But live streaming is a good measurement of how fast I actually can do things. I notice things that take more time than I want them to when I live stream, and then I work on improving those things. So, I can keep this up for like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours maybe. I'm just sketching. So no concept whatsoever. Oh, so I tried this like live streaming stuff and putting it on ArtStation. I don't know, does that work now for me? I only just skimmed through how to make it work. Check. Oh, hey, it works. think this one is gonna end up very good. Ah, fuck it. Annoying thing is that I can't preview render because then the live stream dies. I tried that a couple of times just to see how things are looking, and then just everything just dies. That's my live streaming playlist. Yeah, I could do that, or I could be a lazy bum and not do anything about it. But yes, that is what I should do. But it's just one of those things that I forget every time before I'm gonna stream, and I don't want that on when I'm not streaming, because that would suck. Because I do need my course. I don't even know, I have so many cores. I don't know, I think I have 8, yeah. Pretty sure I have 8. Thank you. I guess what I should do is to do more work like this and then just throw more of it away and just work, iterate longer on the renders or on the designs, I mean, but that's, you know, actual work. I'm using edge weighting quite heavily these days. Because it's pretty sexy. It's just that by default in Mono it's kind of hidden away a bit. What the fuck to do with this? Yeah, I should probably measure my APM at some point. It would be kind of fun to know. I probably have higher APM than I did when I played StarCraft. Yeah, my version of the quick pipe does a few things. It's just that every time I do a pipe, I almost always want to resize it. So my macro just makes sure that the caps are always off, and that the and also that has the, you know, just uses some settings that I like. Make sure those settings are on every time I run it, and then just deletes the caps and toggles the and then toggles the resizing script. I have a few hundred shortcuts. So that's why it's so smooth. And I just added like a shitload more, so I keep forgetting them. Because there was like, I was a bit too ambitious with how many new hotkeys I could learn. This song is slow. What do you mean land? What are these 21st century thoughts? It's like, why would you ever land? They just keep hovering. I'm actually using both edge weight and round edge shader together at the same time, because there's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's just, it really depends on what kind of forms I want to do, because I do find that the round edge shader limits me when I'm designing things somewhat. As long as you're fine with going like very destructive in your modeling, you can actually combine them, which I do a lot. I can make an example. Let's take this one here. Just put that in the third layer. There we go. We can do that. I would take more precaution when doing this if it was like, you know, in production. But now I can just, you know, create whatever ugly meshes I do want. Actually, we don't even need to mirror this now. No, n-gons. I mean, there's some things that don't work with edge weighting and n-gons in the OpenSubDiv, but most things work pretty okay. Ugh, it's already been an hour. It's going too slow. Ah. Yeah, that's better. Guess. Yeah, I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. Try to always do. unless I model something that is really ugly, and then I just try to, you know, forget about it and hide it from the world. But if this doesn't suck completely, then yes, I will upload it. I'm gonna try to stream more regularly and do it like, I don't know, once a week at least, because I will have more reasons to stream things in the future. I worked at People Can Fly, which was then owned by Epic. So I was in-house in Warsaw. No, this doesn't look good. Ah! Shit. I do explain a lot of my workflow in my Gumroad tutorials as well, and I do have to make more. I know it still takes time, and it's not as fun as real modeling. I'm just gonna pretend that these don't intersect. Yeah, that totally doesn't intersect. I mean, depends on what you're looking for, what the company is looking for. Sometimes kick-ass models, sometimes kick-ass environments, sometimes a kick-ass resume. All depends. Depends on the company and the position, and so on. No, not when I'm making like this. Like now, Modo actually has a stack that I am going to dig into soonish. Just not had the time. And then you can make, you know, things with a stack. But for now, I just do them like this because I can just deform them however I want, and then I can just reshoot the script anyway. So, I mean, in theory, I would win a couple of seconds on it, max. But that's only if I do it wrong the first time. So not really. That's one thing that people are always like, but you can't edit your tubes after you have like made them. And I'm just wondering like, why does everyone have to edit their tubes? Well, when I first started in the industry, then I had tons of free time. Well, now I actually have more, but I just spend all my free time modeling anyway, so I don't know what is free time really. And yes, this is the hose material test thing. It's not the same hose, but it's the same shader that made that hose. I think this model is beyond salvation. Right, so 1 hour in. That's not good enough. I did not play with the procedurals yet. I'm looking forward to it though. But it's also just one of those things where I just have to adapt my current workflow quite a lot to make them work, because you do have to split things up into separate items and so on, and I just have to streamline a lot of my some of my processes to make it, you know, worthwhile. Because it's only worthwhile in some cases. I mean, most of the time I will be just modeling like normal, because it's just better than. I mean, I don't need to make it non-destructive. It's just gonna take time and performance and be harder to manage. So definitely not for everything. That looks ridiculous. Let's not do that. The worst thing with having so many hotkeys is that if I hit something, if I miss a key and hit something else, I have no idea what I'm just did. My config file is so old at this point that I actually managed to have hotkeys for things that don't exist anymore, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I would. There's nothing that says that this can't be used for production. It depends what kind of production. I mean, game production, yes. Movie production, no. I mean, to be fair, like, large parts of my portfolio are built like this. Actually bring up... Actually, do I even have that? Have to check one thing in a review. Right. Yeah, so for example, this is an example of where I more or less built this whole thing like this. It's a bit... I mean, for the low poly, yeah, but for the high poly I wouldn't do any cleanup. And I mean, even if you're zooming in on things like relatively close, there's like no artifacts from the sloppiness, because this is made like so sloppy you wouldn't believe. Like, there's all these things. Must have most pixels ever. All the N-gons. This is Unreal Engine. It's just I'm just doing a high poly, yeah. So for low poly, no. For low poly, I would be way more careful than I need to be. Actually, I should actually make a lot sloppier low polys most of the time, because I spend so much time doing things that I don't actually need to do. But this one has details everywhere. Yay! That no one will see, because I have to turn on the light. Alright, that's enough of that. The textures are not procedural, it's textured in Quixel. But it doesn't have a high poly or low poly, it's just one go. Okay, back to this thing. Yeah, quite a lot of hours, but not as many hours as you might think. The whole thing is pretty much built like I am building things now, and it's just that I'm procrastinating so much, and because I'm recording a tutorial for it at the same time, so, and then I combine that with imposter syndrome and not wanting to finish it because I think it looks like shit. So that's why it never gets done, mostly. Not sure which exposed parameters you're talking about. It's actually pretty much, it's relatively simplistic setup in Quixel with just a master material created for this, or like a couple of master materials created for this project. The UV is actually, the HUD is actually a movie, which is not made by me. It's made by my friend Stellan, who is UI and designer, and he's awesome. Well, I am proud of a lot of things, it's just that, you know, I mean, of course everyone has imposter syndrome. It's just sometimes you have it more than other times. And the cockpit is not all high poly, it's something in between, it's a cinematic model. And it runs way too well on my computer. I need to actually put more shit in there, because right now it runs at like 120 FPS, so, and my screen can't even display that, so what am I supposed to do with all that performance? I need to waste it on something. Like put shadow casters everywhere. Actually, it is a problem. I mean, I want to make something that actually pushes my computer and the engine as hard as I possibly can, because there's no point in making something that just runs exceptionally well. I mean, of course there's a point to it, but when it just comes to just pushing art, I do want to push art as, you know, as much as I can, and while not just doing retarded things. So I need to make a new project later that actually uses all the performance. So I need to make a way more complex model, but I already know what to make, so. Nah, no sneak peek. It will be a sub-D tutorial. Most likely I will use like a robot to demonstrate a lot of different sub-D. Did I do that? Sub-D methods in Modo. And then I will make some other ones as well later when I have time. Nope. Okay, there we go. I have not always used Modo, but I love it. So now I'm not gonna switch, and no one's gonna ever force me to switch. Let's just grab some of these bastards. I'm very surprised my cat has not come to annoy me and disturb me, because I haven't given me attention for like an hour. Yeah, Fusion looks cool, but the problem with it is that it's slow. I mean, it's still in development, you know, you can't set hotkeys. So that's one problem. It's slow and it's pretty sluggish as well. My more complex models would probably not run in that program at all. Plus certain shapes, I mean it lends it very well to certain styles and design languages, but some things it's just like not as easy to create in that program. But it's very, very cool. I think it's if they keep developing that in a good way, it's going to be very popular. But yeah, I can't abandon hotkeys. I mean, click